Let's just say it. When Nike dropped the bombshell that they had extended Shedeur Sanders' contract, before he ever played a regular season NFL snap, the league didn't just blink. It flinched. This wasn't your average rookie endorsement deal. This was a brand giant. The brand, betting not just on talent, but on timing, on culture, on vibes. And in doing so, Nike did something no team, scout, or old-school front office was brave enough to do.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
They said out loud what everyone else was too afraid to admit. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's a movement. This wasn't about touchdowns. This wasn't about film study, combined stats, or intangibles buried on a draft report. This was about watching one preseason game, and knowing, yeah, this guy's about to own Sundays. Because when Shedeur hit the field in that preseason opener, it wasn't just about throwing tight spirals or hitting receivers in stride. Though, let's be real, he did that too. It was about presence, swagger, that unteachable energy that tells the world, I belong here and y'all better catch up. And then came the wrist flex. A subtle moment, blink and you'd miss it, but electric. One wrist up, calm face, total control. That single gesture didn't just become a celebration. It became a symbol. A meme. A mood. X exploded. Instagram stories lit up. TikTok ran with it like it was the birth of a new emoji. Within 48 hours, high school quarterbacks across the country were flexing their wrists after touchdowns. It became the move. Nike saw it in real time. And before the game even ended, the gears were already turning. This wasn't some reactionary deal made out of panic or hype. This had been planned, prepped, executed like a military operation. Shedeur wasn't just getting a contract extension. He was getting a campaign. Think about that. While the Browns were still debating whether or not to give him first-team reps, Nike had already shot the commercial. They had the gear, the custom cleats, the branded content ready to drop. This wasn't a reaction. This was prophecy. And let's not forget, Nike's relationship with Shedeur didn't start here. He was already part of the Nike family as their first-ever nil football athlete during his time at Colorado. While most of the sports world was still debating whether nil was the future or a fad, Nike quietly invested in Shedeur like he was a startup unicorn. Turns out, they were right. Because now, Shedeur Sanders isn't just the face of a quarterback battle. He's the face of something bigger. A new NFL. A new generation. A league where personality and performance aren't enemies. They're partners. Where a player's marketability is baked into their game plan. Where viral moments matter just as much as fourth-quarter comebacks. And that's where the NFL got caught flat-footed. Teams still operate like it's 2008. Like star power only counts after you've earned it the hard way. As if charisma is something you grow into instead of something that arrives with you. Nike knew better. They saw the son of Deion Sanders, not as a shadow living under a gold jacket, but as someone carving his own path. Someone who's been raised under the brightest lights and still manages to look unfazed every time the cameras come on. It's not just that Shedeur plays like a vet. It's that he markets like one too. He understands the moment. He understands his moment. And Nike is all in. Let's talk dollars and cents for a second. Because this deal wasn't just a feel-good story about branding potential. This was a cold, calculated business move. Shedeur's social engagement numbers are off the charts. His reach across multiple platforms rivals that of established Pro Bowlers. And that's before he's even officially QB1. From a marketing standpoint, he's a dream scenario. Young, confident, legacy-driven, and culturally fluent. He doesn't just wear the shoes. He makes them sell. And now, With a Nike machine behind him, Shedeur isn't just a player to watch. He's a force to reckon with. Which, by the way, has not gone unnoticed inside NFL circles. Because let's be real, this deal just rewrote the rookie marketing playbook. For decades, brands waited for players to prove themselves before attaching a check. Pro Bowls, playoff wins, MVP nods. That was the standard. Not anymore. Now, you go viral, you carry yourself like a star, you connect with fans, and suddenly, you're the guy on the billboard. And that's terrifying for the old guard. You know who I'm talking about. The GMs, the scouts, the anonymous sources who hate distractions, who treat confidence like it's contagious. They're the ones still trying to push the idea that Shedeur needs to earn it the same way everyone else did. But here's the twist. He already did. Just not on their terms. He earned it by being smart, efficient, and precise in his limited reps. He earned it by showing more composure in one half of football than some rookies show in a full season. He earned it by not biting back when he was called an entertainer, by staying quiet, focused, and sharp. And he earned it by understanding that being a franchise quarterback in 2025 is about more than reading a defense. It's about reading the room. He's not just leading a team, he's leading a brand. And Nike, to their credit, recognized that before anyone else. They didn't wait for Shedeur to win a Super Bowl to put him in a commercial. They made him the commercial. And now, the ripple effects are real. Young athletes are watching. Brands are watching. The NFL, reluctantly, is watching. Because this deal just raised the bar. Suddenly, it's not enough to be next up. You've got to move the needle. You've got to own your story. You've got to create moments that matter. Shedeur did that, with one flex of the wrist. And Nike said, "We see it. We're betting on it. And we're cashing in now." So while the Browns fumble around with their quarterback drama, Nike's already built a marketing empire around the guy Cleveland still won't start. Let that sink in. The cleats have dropped. The ad campaigns are live. The fans are locked in. And Shedeur Sanders? He's just getting started. Let's keep it rolling, because we're not even halfway through this culture quake that Shedeur Sanders and Nike just triggered. Here's where it gets even wilder. This wasn't just a rookie getting a sneaker deal. This was a corporate power play. Nike didn't just lock Shedeur in. They challenged the entire NFL establishment in one move. Picture it. One of the most influential brands in sports basically stood up in the middle of the room and said, "We don't need to wait on your little depth charts. We see the future." And it's flexing its wrist before you even figure out how to use him. That's not endorsement. That's disruption. You think other brands aren't watching this play out? You think Adidas, Under Armour, New Balance, and the dozen other hungry players in the sportswear game didn't just get slapped across the face with a reminder that marketing is no longer about MVPs. It's about movement makers? Shedeur is Gen Z's quarterback. Not in theory. In execution. He doesn't wait for the spotlight. He brings it. Whether he's launching a slick IG story with custom cleats or walking into the tunnel looking like a Vogue editorial, he understands the assignment. Every move is calculated. Every appearance is a moment. Every word is money. And Nike saw that before Cleveland did. Let's just pause there again. The Browns were still evaluating. Nike, already printing custom Shedeur gear in factories across 3 continents. That gap between how brands view athletes and how some franchises still treat them is why this deal hit the league like a tidal wave. It's why coaches like Kevin Stefanski are now sitting in press conferences trying to spin why their QB4 is the face of a billion-dollar brand, while their starter can't complete a third down pass. The dissonance is deafening. And fans? They feel it. They're not dumb. They see what Shedeur represents. It's not just about stats. It's about symbolism. This is a kid who grew up in the public eye, with all the pressure in the world, and still moves like he's playing backyard football with his best friends. That's not a quarterback trait. It's a superstar trait. And now, thanks to Nike, that energy is everywhere. Billboards, social media, highlight reels, wrist flex memes. It's a flood, and the Browns are still trying to hold it back with a paper towel. You know what this reminds me of? The early days of Mahomes. Or even Lamar Jackson. The energy, the excitement, the questioning of the establishment. Everyone saying, can this guy really do it at the next level? And then boom, one breakout game, one moment, and suddenly, everyone's pretending they saw it coming. With Shedeur, we have the warning. He's already won the narrative war. Now it's just about when he gets the chance to win on the field. Because let's face it, this deal doesn't just pressure the Browns, it exposes them. Every day they don't start Shedeur is another day they look out of touch. Another day the fans roll their eyes. Another day Nike gets to say, we saw it before you did. And if they're not careful, Shedeur won't just be the guy they kept on the bench too long. He'll be the guy they lost. Imagine that fallout. Imagine if Shedeur finishes this season as a backup, asks for a trade, and shows up in a Rams uniform next year with a full Nike campaign already loaded and ready to go. You think Cleveland fans would forgive that? They're already hanging on by a thread. Because this isn't just about a quarterback controversy anymore. It's about pride, legacy, the future of how football is marketed. And Nike made it very clear whose side they're on. And here's what makes this deal historic. It's not just about Shedeur. It opens the door for other rookies to start branding themselves early. It tells agents, athletes, and even high school stars that if you can create a moment, if you can own your narrative, brands will come to you before the league ever does. This is new territory. This is nil energy in the NFL. And it's only going to get more chaotic from here. Because now, teams have to adjust. They can't just draft and stash anymore. If you've got a rookie with heat, with cultural cachet, you've got to move. You've got to activate them, build around them, or risk getting cooked by the marketing world. And your own fan base. Shedeur set the blueprint. He didn't do it with drama. He didn't demand anything. He just performed. He flexed once, stayed humble, and let the momentum carry itself. That's rare. And Nike, sharp as ever, knew they couldn't wait. Because if they didn't lock him down now, someone else would. And now, the future's already in motion. Imagine the rollouts. Imagine the Nike ads, cut in slow motion, with cinematic shots of Shedeur walking onto the field. The flex, the lights, the city behind him. The tagline? Something like, he's not coming. He's here. Because that's exactly what this moment is. Shedeur's not waiting for permission anymore. And the NFL? It better get used to that. Because this deal just shifted the power dynamic. The old model of wait your turn doesn't fly anymore when brands like Nike are ready to build a franchise around you before your team even does. So yeah, the NFL should be in shock. Not because Shedeur got a deal, but because it wasn't them who made it first. Let's pick up right where we left off. Because this story, it's not slowing down. It's accelerating like Shedeur breaking the pocket with eyes downfield, and the entire stadium holding its breath. Nike didn't just break protocol by locking in Shedeur Sanders before he threw a regular season pass. They rewrote the playbook for how modern athletes are valued, and how fast momentum travels in the new era of sports marketing. Gone are the days when rookies had to wait their turn. That era died the second Shedeur flexed his wrist and instantly became a meme, a GIF, and a marketing concept in a single frame. The league was still tabulating QB ratings, and Nike was already storyboarding the commercial. And let's be honest, the NFL didn't love that. See, the league has always had a weird relationship with star power. On one hand, it thrives on it. On the other, it tries to control it. box it in, sterilize it, keep it on a leash, just enough to sell jerseys, but never too much to outshine the Shield. But Shedeur, he's not built to be managed like that. He's built to lead, to command a team and a timeline, to own the moment and make you want to watch, even when you swore you were just tuning in for a few preseason snaps. That's why this Nike deal hit the way it did. It wasn't about cleats. It was about confirmation. Confirmation that this kid, this rookie, is already bigger than the system wants him to be. And let's be real. Nike didn't sign Shedeur to be cute. They signed him because they saw the inevitable. They saw what the Browns apparently didn't. A quarterback who wasn't just good on the field, but inevitable off it. Someone whose rise couldn't be stopped, only delayed. Think about what that does to a locker room. Think about the energy that brings. Players know. They can feel when someone's the guy. You don't need press conferences or ESPN panels to tell you. You know it in the huddle. You see it in practice. You feel it in walkthroughs. And when that guy's being sidelined for politics, for PR, for coaching decisions, it poisons everything. But Nike? They didn't wait. They didn't hesitate. They didn't worry about who was above Shedeur on the depth chart. They saw who was above him on the cultural chart. And they said, lock it in. Build around it. Bet the house. So now here we are. You've got a QB1 in waiting, a viral moment-turn campaign, a Nike empire behind him, and an NFL organization still fumbling over whether he's ready. Ready? Shedeur's been ready since before he walked onto that field. That's the difference. He didn't get here by accident. He was raised in this, trained in this, coached not just by the Hall of Famer who raised him, but by the chaos of expectation. He's built for the spotlight, and now he has the spotlight's biggest brand at his back. Meanwhile, the Browns are trying to figure out what just hit them. Let's zoom out. This isn't just about Shedeur or the Browns. This is about the entire model shifting. This is about athletes recognizing their value before the stat sheets catch up. It's about how charisma, narrative, and presence now carry just as much weight as touchdowns. And it makes some people uncomfortable, because there are still voices in NFL circles clinging to the old guard. The shut up and play crowd. The earn it first brigade. The ones who view endorsements as distractions and personality as a liability. But that thinking? It's a fossil. In 2025, personality is performance. Influence is currency. Branding is value. Shedeur has all three, and Nike knew it before anyone else was willing to admit it. Now imagine you're another rookie quarterback watching this unfold. You've been told to wait your turn, keep your head down, don't rock the boat. And then you see Shedeur, same draft class, same league, already on national campaigns, already setting culture, already becoming the face of the next generation. What do? You call your agent. You call your PR team. You reevaluate everything you were taught about how this game works. And that ripple effect? It's going to reshape everything. Contracts, endorsements, locker room hierarchies, even how franchises draft in the first place. Because now teams don't just have to ask, can this kid play? They have to ask, can this kid command a brand? Shedeur didn't just pass that test. He redefined the rubric. And let's not pretend like Nike didn't know the pressure they were applying here. This deal didn't drop in a vacuum. It dropped while Shedeur was still being sidelined, while the QB room in Cleveland was still tangled in its own politics. It was a warning shot, a billboard-sized message to the league. We don't need you to crown him. We already did. And now the Browns are on the clock, not just to start him, but to catch up, to recognize that their rookie quarterback isn't just a rising player. He's a rising power, one who doesn't need permission, one who's already shifted how young talent is perceived and monetized, one who's already changed the game without needing a single regular season snap. So what happens now? Well, Nike's not slowing down. Expect more campaigns, more merchandise, more Shedeur content coming at you from every direction. He's no longer just a rookie quarterback. He's a lifestyle brand, a cultural pillar, the kind of figure that makes headlines whether he's throwing passes or just showing up. And the Browns? They can either ride that wave or get wiped out by it. Because here's what we do know. The fans are watching. The media is watching. The league is watching. And Shedeur? He's already running the playbook. All they have to do is give him the ball. Let's be honest. At this point, the only thing more shocking than Nike signing Shedeur Sanders to a massive extension is the fact that he's still not the Browns' QB1. Like, how much louder does the universe have to scream? The wrist flex became a cultural moment. The cleats became collectibles. The Nike deal sent shockwaves through every front office in the league. And yet the Browns? Still acting like Shedeur's just in development. As if the cultural landscape hasn't already made the decision for them. This isn't a cute marketing bump. This is a full-on momentum tidal wave, and they're pretending it's just preseason noise. But here's the thing they don't seem to understand. You can't outcoach momentum. You can't slow walk a tidal wave. You either ride it, or it crashes over you. And that's exactly what's starting to happen. Every time Shedeur posts, it trends. Every time someone else throws a pick, people scream his name. Every highlight reel, every sports podcast, every marketing panel is talking about him. Not because the media is obsessed, but because the fans are. He's the first rookie in years whose personality feels as big as his potential. Let's break it down. In a league where rookies are told to sit, shut up, and earn their stripes, Shedeur flipped the script without saying a word. He let his game do the talking, his wrist do the flexing, and let Nike do the shouting. And what did Nike say? We're not waiting. We're building the brand now. It's pressure. It's legacy. It's an open dare to every NFL team watching. If you've got someone like Shedeur and you don't activate him, don't be surprised when someone else does. And don't be surprised when the fans start chanting for him louder than they do for whoever's out there throwing checkdowns and missing reads. You think Nike would have done this deal if they thought Shedeur was going to be holding a clipboard all season? Absolutely not. They signed him because they knew. They know that by the time November rolls around, he's going to be leading a team, not just onto the field, but into a new era. One where rookies are allowed to have a voice, a brand, and a moment before they're approved by the league's gatekeepers. So no, this isn't just about cleats and commercials. This is about identity. This is about changing what it means to be ready. And right now, there's only one question left. Will the Browns realize they've already got the future sitting on their bench? Or will they be the team remembered not for building a dynasty, but for sleeping through the moment that could have started one?